Welcome. I'm Jeanette, the North Dawn Coach. I'm so glad that you have joined me here today. I want to talk about the concept of making a career change or a pivot or a transition, however you want to term that. When you are mid-career, maybe a little later career, but retirement's not in the foreseeable close term future. It is a goal. Don't get me wrong. It's a goal, but it's not something that you can say, this transition, this pivot is going to lead me directly into retirement. There's something else that needs to come from a career perspective and bringing in earnings, revenue, etc. And what I want to focus on with you today is this idea of kind of the level of your, what's the word I want to use here? The level of your disenchantment with your current circumstances may affect the outcome. So what do I mean by this? Well, I've been thinking about way back, I had a PE, physical education instructor, and I want to say that this is like middle school, junior high PE that I'm thinking of here, not high school PE. But I remember as we were doing the, enforced mile run in our PE segment, that this teacher would yell out, "No pain, no gain, no pain, no gain." And that really struck with me. And I know that that's an expression that's commonly used, not just by this particular PE teacher. Anyway, I've been thinking about that as it pertains to this idea of making a pivot or transition in your career when you are kind of mid-career or a little bit later. And that sometimes this idea of no pain, no gain does seem to apply in these circumstances. And by that, I mean, when there isn't a certain level, like I can't get through this another year. I can't keep going in this role. I need to make a change. Sort of a feeling like the urgency associated with changing circumstances, that level of pain is very useful in making the transition to get the move to happen. That when the level of pain is sort of medium level. In other words, some days are quite fine, some quite sustainable, and other days not so great. But overall, the pain associated with making a change is greater than the pain that you're currently dealing with in the current circumstances. That is a trap, in fact, because things aren't great. It doesn't feel like overall this is the most fulfilling opportunity, but the lukewarmness of the current circumstances actually keeps you trapped in those circumstances. When the pain level gets greater and there's greater urgency to make a change, and let's take that to the extreme, when the decision is no longer in your court, when you are receiving a layoff notice, for instance. Now, I don't want to diminish that. Like, that's a terrible circumstance if you did not want that to happen. And there's a lot of work that comes from that. But there might be a silver lining to it too, in the sense that that enforced huge level of pain actually gets you moving in the direction that you wanted to be moving in all along. But the level of comfort that you found in the current circumstances kept you trapped there. So there's really a silver lining in that. Now, that's the extreme case, and that's probably not the case that you're in, or it may be, but it's likely that you are in a circumstance where you are considering how lovely it would be to make a change, but the amount of work and pain associated with the change is greater. So what can we do about that? Well, one, I think awareness is the first step. Like actually recognizing, oh, this is what is happening. And there is a long-term pain that I may be paying down the road if I don't take action, even in the midst of, this current level of comfort. because all of those days add up, and we could be avoiding something that, if we got to the other side of it, could be wonderful. The fulfillment that you were looking for in that career change was just beyond the level of pain that it took to make the change. I'd invite you to think about that. Is that your circumstance? Is that what you're dealing with? That some days are worse than others, but over the course of it, it's so-so. It's lukewarm. And so that level of pain is sustainable. Like, you can do it, but what's the bigger cost? What's the, if you can get through the pain of the making of the change, what are you not getting on the other side if you don't get through it? All right, that's it for today. I want to offer you that if you could use a listening ear to talk through what a strategy might be around getting through this and to the other side, I'd be happy to provide that for you. I will put a link in the description box to schedule a time for a free 45-minute career strategy session. And until then, until I meet you either one-on-one or again here on video, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.